Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is we need to create our hymn overlays, and to do that we're going to use Google Drive, and we're going to use Notepad and OBS Studio. So let's start off with a nice fresh clean slate. So I have nothing here on the screen. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press this button right here called Google Drive. So as I push that, it opens up Google Drive, and now I'm going to navigate in the Google Drive to YouTube, and now I'm in the YouTube folder here. You can see My Drive, YouTube, 7.5 Service, because that's going to be the next one we deal with. And we open that up, and there's a folder called Hymn Overlays. I'm going to double click on that, and look at there, we have a Hymn Overlays text file in there. This is something that Pastor Rob generally uploads to a folder for the week, and we just go in here and we download it to create our text files. So I'm going to start off here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to double click on it, and you can see here it opened it up. It's a hymn overlays.txt, and I have two hymns here. This is just a bunch of gobbledygook, but I have test hymn number 1 and I have test hymn number 2. What I need to do is I need to copy this text from the internet, from our Google Drive, and I need to copy that into a text file. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to hit Control C to copy. And then I am going to take and open a notepad. So when I open my notepad here, I'm just going to bring it over and put it in front here. I'm going to open notepad, and you see here where it says, untitled notepad file edit. It's normal notepad, and you're going to hit Control V. Well, I did not copy it, so let me go ahead and just move this down. I'm going to select this again, and when I right click, for whatever reason it's not copying, it's not giving me that option, but I'm going to hit Control C, that's copy. And I come into Untitled Notepad and I Control V. And you can see here in Notepad it has now copied what I selected in Google Docs, and it has pasted it here. So I need to save this as a file locally. So I'm going to go to File. In Notepad I go to File, Save As, and then I'm going to go into my Documents, and if there is no folder in here, I'm going to create a folder. Now to create a folder, you just simply right click on the side, hit New, Folder, and I'm going to name this 07, can't use that, 05 Service. So that'll be July 5th. So create that folder, and I'm going to open that folder. So now you see this PC Documents 0705 Service, and then I'm going to name this as Practice Hymn 1. So you would name it Hymn 1, Hymn 2, whatever. So I'm going to name this one as Practice Hymn 1. It's saving as a text file, and I'm just going to save that right there. So we just saved it. You can see here it says Practice Hymn number 1, and then there's our text. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So Hymn 2, we've got to do the same thing. For Hymn 2, if you look down here at the bottom, I've got an icon for Notepad. You just click on that. It'll bring up a new Notepad. Select this again. Press Control C on your keyboard. Go into Notepad and Control V, and that's going to paste it in there. File, Save As. I'm lazy, so I'm just going to select Practice Hymn 1, and I'm going to change that 1 to a 2, and then I come down here and click Save. So now I have both practice hymns ready to go. They are now saved locally in a text format, and we're going to use those text files in just a minute to create our hymn overlays in our studio. So you can go ahead and just close out the notepads, and we can close out the Google Drive. The next step that we're going to do is we need to launch our OBS Studio. So over here on our Stream Deck, we're going to press OBS Studio, and that's going to bring up our OBS Studio. First thing we need to do is we need to go into our hymns. So I'm going to click on hymn 1, and in here we're in the scene selection in the lower left hand area. So select in scenes, hymn 1, and then go to sources, hymn 1 text. So I double click on hymn 1 text, and then there's our text file. We hit browse, and we're going to go to our documents, and we're looking for that folder we just created, and I called it 0705 service. I'm going to double click on there. There is hymn 1, practice hymn 1. That's the text file I want to use. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit open. When I do that, you'll see our hymn should match whatever our text was. It'll all match up here. Hit OK. And now you can move that around the screen. When you want to move it though, make sure, if you'll notice here, there's a red box on the outside video, and then the text is surrounded by a blue box. You don't want that. You need to come down here and select hymn 1 text in sources so that the text box is red. Now you can move that around. If it's not red, you can't move it. So let's move on to hymn number 2. Same thing. We come to scenes. We come down to hymn number 2. We go to hymn 2 text, double click, and we're going to point that at those text files that we just created. So I go to my documents, 7.5 service, practice hymn number 2, and hit open. Then hit OK. Same thing. That text box is now highlighted red, so we can move it around. So that is how you create the hymn overlays from a text file, from downloading it from the internet, from our Google Drive, to creating the local text file, and then pointing OBS Studio to those hymn overlays. That's it. Thanks.